Welcome on people, it is I, SourBawss, and I'm bringing an OE match against the TheLightningFlare, and oh my goodness, it's been too long guys, I'm sorry. I don't really have an excuse more, I've just had a life, so either way, let's just dive right into this. We both actually have Hail teams. This is the first time I've had a Hail versus Hail on Wi-Fi actually, so this should be pretty interesting, but big threats really are the Mama Swine. That's a huge ass threat with that Earthquake, Ground Stab and Ice Stab to completely wreck my team, so I need to watch out for that, depending on what set it is, obviously. Then there's also a Haxorus. Depending on what set, I'm fearing the DD sets. That could be a real problem, seeing as the Frostlass won't be able to outspeed. Again, you can obviously see this is a new team that I'm testing out. This is actually my last Hell team I'll be using for a while, seeing as I'm testing something else on PO, but regardless. Also, you see I've got a Frostlass, so that means I've got some hazards, but I don't think I'll be getting too many hazards up with the Tentacruel, Rapid Spinner, and the Espeon with the Magic Bounce. So, yeah, let's see how this goes on. I'm thinking he's going to lead off with either the Heatran or the Mamoswine. I'm hoping the Mamoswine will be the Endeavour set, so let's just see what happens from there. I'm just going to lead with Heatran just to get my Stealth Rocks or do something else. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get on with the show. As I've already stated, I am going to lead over with my Heatran, and he is actually going to lead over with his Mamoswine. So right off the bat, I'm going to go right for that Fire Blast, as he actually outspeeds me. So apparently he's jolly or something. So as most Mamoswines are adamants, but he breaks my balloon, and I go right for Fire Blast, and he does have a Focus Sash, so that's an easy OHKO, and that's a huge ass threat out of the way. So I'm happy about that. So he brings his Haxorus. I'm fearing him to set up on me, fearing me to fear the Earthquake, as I'm just going to stay in, but he actually used Banded, or Choice in some way, so I'm guessing Banded, because that did a hell of a lot to a Heatran. As I'm just going to roar him out, into his Espeon, as he's just going to Psychic me for the KO. So although I don't have rocks up this match, the residual damage from the Hail whenever one of us starts it will be quite nice, as I'm going to go for a Body Slam on this Espeon, as I see it's the dual screener. Go for a Body Slam again, predicting the Heatran switch, as it can pretty much wall my flinching shenanigans. Yeah, don't say that word, oh my god. Yeah, just going to go for a Body Slam, predicting the Heatran, as I'm going to switch out into my Glass Skull, predicting to go for that Stealth Rocks right now, as he just so I could get my Toxic Orb activated. Now I am going to predict him to switch out into his Abomasnow just to start up the Hail, as I believe I am going to go for the Toxic. Yes, I do that, so that is actually really good. Wow, oh my god, it's been a while, sorry guys. As you'll see right now that he is actually the Subseed variant, as I'm going to protect as he goes for that Leech Seed. So getting a Toxic on a Subseeder is pretty much cripples it entirely, so that's really great. As I am going to just switch out into my Jirachi just so I can wall this thing for days, as it's going to be Sub, Seed, Blizzard and Giga Drain, as he will go for that Blizzard right now, seeing as I did go for a Protect. I was pretty sure I could outspeed. I could have potentially just Sub Protected, as this is a Sub Protect Toxic Glass Skull, but I don't have the Speed EVs. I'm max HP, max defense, seeing as I like to wall just take on Terrakion's hits much better, seeing as this is a Hail team after all, and that's a big ass threat. As I'm just going to go into my Tentacruel, just so I can spin those rocks away as he double switches into his Heatran. So I could have potentially switched out into my my Glass Skull again, predicting the Heatran switch, but I figured that it was best just to go for the Rapid Spin. Anyway, as he goes for a Protect, I'm not sure why he would have Protect on a Hail team, seeing as it really isn't doing that much. I mean, yes, it is good for scouting, but on a Hail team, the Hail is negated leftovers, so I don't really see the point. I mean, on Hail teams for Heatran, if you're using the special defensive one, it'll be much better to just run Stealth Rock, Roar, Lava Plume, and the either Toxic or Earth Power. You could run a few Speed EVs on that, maybe 160. Or 8, depending on what you want to like. But anyway, it's his, not mine. But I'm just going to go for a Scald right now, as he does switch into his Espeon, and I'm just going to wear this thing down with those Scalds. Thankfully, I do paralysis on this thing, so that I'm going to be able to just keep wearing it down. And I was checking to see if either Scald or the Blizzard would do more. Scald actually does a tiny bit more, so that's why I'm going for it after all. This Tentacruel does have the Blizzard instead of Hex this time, seeing as Dragons are kind of a, well, just to take care of dragons quite easily. Well, more easily anyway. So I don't really have that much trouble because after all, this is a hail team. As the Espeon goes down right now. There's a double down, and I thought that my Glasgow would be the best thing to go into, as it can handle pretty much his entire team. As I'm just going to go for that Earthquake as he brought out the Haxorus as he switches out into his Tentacruel. So because I am very invested into defense, I know I can't outspeed, and I am just going to have to switch out into my Bulbasaur just to take either a Scald or a Blizzard. I'm risking the burn, but I don't get, and even if I did get a burn, I knew that I could probably still KO this thing with a Wood Hammer, and that's exactly what I proceed to do. Just knock that out, clean out with that Expert Belt. So now he's going to bring out his Haxorus. I'm just going to go right for that Ice Shard just to get a bit of collateral damage on this thing, just so I can wear this thing down, seeing as it hasn't really stayed in and does a hell of a lot. I mean, god damn. As he is just going to KO me with the Brick Break, I believe. I mean, that's kind of weird. I mean, I don't know. It is choice after all, so I guess Brick Break would work, but now I'm just going to switch out into my Frost Lasting, as I know he's locked into that move, as I'm just going to go for a Substitute. No, wait. A Blizzard, sorry, as he switched out into his Abomasnow. Now I'm going to go for the Substitute, just trying to wear him down with the toxic damage. As he misses Leech Seed, which doesn't really matter. Snow Cloak is active after all, but whatever. I'm not sure why he isn't switching out into his Heatran, to be perfectly honest, seeing as all I have is Frostlass, my was it Jirachi, and my Glasgow, and a potential comeback isn't too out of the question, seeing as I can't touch Frostlass, and Jirachi can't even touch Heatran, but he doesn't. He just lets this thing die, which is fine by me. I ain't complaining. As the Bulbasaur does finally go down, as he brings out his Heatran. I'm going to switch out into my Glasgow just to wrap things up. I could just let this thing die as Death Fodder, but nah, not really. And I can take a Lava Plume. Even if it was a crit Lava Plume, I could still take it. Even plus the hail damage, I believe. Barely though, barely. As I'm just going to go for that Earthquake just to knock that thing right out. I don't have any attack EVs, obviously, but it's still quad. It's times 4 weak to it. Come on, that ain't living anything. As he's going to switch into his final Pokemon, the Haxorus, and that is pretty much the game. He is going to lock himself into his strongest move, Outrage, which even if I did die to this thing, I still do have my Jirachi, as I can just power flinch it to death. So, good game there, Lightning Flare. Yeah, Hell vs Hail, seeing as I'm the stronger Hell user, it seems. But yeah, anyway, that'll be all for today, guys. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the other side.